Paramarth gives a slightly different account of the council. Though he also locates the sessions of the council in Kashmir, he gives the credit for convening the conference to Katyani Putra, author of Gyan Prasthan Sutra, which is the principal treatise of the Abhidharma Pitak of the Sarvastivadin Buddhists. According to Paramarth, to quote, an Arhat called the son of Kashaniye, that is Katyani Putra, entered the priesthood in the Satbata, that is Sarvastivada school. Afterwards he went to Kipin, that is Kashmir. He with 500 Arhatas and 500 Bodhisattvas called the Apidatma Abhidharma belonging to the Satbata, that is Sarvastivada school, and arranged them in 8 Kalanata, that is Granth book. This compilation is called the Discourse on the Production of Knowledge, that is Gyan Prasthan. By means of his divine wisdom and the power born of his vows, the Arhat proclaimed to all for an year, if there be any who formerly heard the Abhidharma propounded by the Buddha, let him communicate what he knows, whether it be much or little. Thereupon the Devas, Nagas, Yakshas, even to the regents of the Akanishtha heaven, who had heard formerly the teachings of the Abhidharma by the Buddha and brought their several contributions, some extensive, some short, even to one sentence or one verse Gatha, Katyani Putra, together with the Arhats and Bodhisattvas, made a selection from the principles thus collected. When the principles did not contradict the Shutala Sutra and Vinaya, they assorted and registered them, but rejected all those which conflicted with these authorities. The compositions they selected were grouped together according to their principles. Those illustrating the principles of wisdom, pragya, were collected in the book of wisdom, that is Pragya Grantha. Those expounding the principles of meditation, that is Dhyan, in the book of meditation, that is Dhyan Grantha. And so with the remaining groups, these 8 books amounted to 50,000 verses, that is shlokas. When they had finished composing the 8 books, they intended also to compose the Vibhasha, that is Vibhasha, in order to explain the meanings. The Bodhisattva Maming Ashvaghosh was well versed in the 8 divisions of the Bikala, that is Vyakaran treatise, in the 4 Vedas and the 6 treatises on them, Vedangas, and was conversant with the 3 Pitakas of all the 18 Buddhist schools. Katyani Putra sent an envoy to Shayi, that is Shravasti, to invite Maming, that is Ashvaghosh, in order to embellish for him the literary compositions. When Maming Ashvaghosh came to Kapin, Kashmir, Katyani Putra expounded the 8 books in succession. All the Arhatas and the Bodhisattvas then thoroughly examined them. When the meaning of the principles had been settled, Maming, that is Ashvaghosh, put them one by one into literary forms. At the end of 12 years, the compositions of the Vibhasha, that is Vibhasha, was finalized. It consisted of 1 million verses, that is shlokas. The Tibetan historian Tarnath has also given an account of the 4th Buddhist Council. Tarnath has written that the council, in its groundbreaking decision, admitted the claims of the 18 sects that they give a correct interpretation of the teachings of the Buddha and sought out to quell dissidents within the Sangha. All these accounts indicate that the council took place in the stronghold of the Sarvastivadins, and that the leading monks of the council were from this sect. However, it is quite likely that the major subdivisions of the Sthavirvadin schools, including the less orthodox sections, had some representation in this council. On this basis, Nalinaksh Dutt has indicated that, to quote him, the council might have listened to the different interpretations of the teachers of different sects, but ultimately gave preference to the exposition of the Sarvastivadins. Apparently, it was also a sectarian affair of the Sarvastivadins, as the third council was of the Theravadins, unquote. Dutt has also suggested that it is doubtful if Kanishka had any hand in the council, though it might have been held under his patronage. References to this council have been completely blacked out in the Pali-based tradition. There is no evidence to say that Mahayana Buddhism was represented at this council. It is also noteworthy that the session of the Fourth Buddhist Council coincides with the emergence of Mahayana, which marks the first great split in the Buddhist Sangha and its fundamental doctrines. Most probably, Sanskrit was the language that was used at this council. Now, some scholars such as Dalawale Poussin doubt the historicity of this council. According to Poussin, it was only, to quote him, an apologetic quasi-invention, unquote. However, Dutt feels that it was a sectarian affair of the Sarvastivadins. It may be said that though the details of the council may have been exaggerated, it would be unreasonable to completely disbelieve the entire tradition. As a matter of fact, the Abhidharma Kosh of Vasu Bandhu is based upon the Vibhashas composed at this council. Thank you so much.